It is February 8th, 2026, and we're still tracking strong winds as a high wind warning continues into your Monday afternoon. Plus, this coincides with a flood watch up for the entirety of the island chain that also ends Monday afternoon. Hey everybody, meteorologist Drew Davis alongside you with a no-hype weather forecast video for you today. Like we do every weekday on this YouTube channel. Today it's Sunday, but I'm in just because there's stormy weather out there. One of the things that I want to talk about as we get into our first alert radar and satellite, again, is the no-hype messaging that I'm trying to bring to you on this YouTube channel. Again, we're trying to be as level-headed as possible with this forecast, and the reason these videos are getting longer and longer is because I'm trying to be as transparent as possible as well. The data that I'm showing you, the models that I'm showing you, is not only the data that I'm seeing here at the H&N Weather Center, but it is also the data that the National Weather Service is seeing, the emergency management officials are seeing, and also public officials as they make their decisions. So let's walk through it together and show you what we're expecting over the next couple of days. Windy conditions really continue into next week. The strongest winds today and tomorrow. And again, you're seeing some damage roll across your screen right now. You can see we did have some down trees and some down power lines out there. It's very windy over leeward areas today. Some more windward rainfall, a little bit drier over leeward parts of the state. Governor Josh Green did announce that all state offices are closed today, and all public schools are expected to be closed Monday, February 9th. And there was tens of thousands of customers without HECO power through at least some point of the day. All right, let's get into our first alert radar and satellite, getting into the data out there. Let's just zoom in a little bit closer to where we're seeing the most impactful rainfall out there. Again, we do have a flood advisory over the northern portions of Maui, including closer to Paia and Hana, and over near Kahului and Wailuku out there. Also a flood advisory over the Hamakua coast and closer to the northern portions of Hawaii Island out there. Some heavier showers coming down. Moving in closer to Puna and Volcano and Pahoa and Hilo, we are seeing a few downpours developing out there closer to Hawaiian Paradise Park, just east of Volcano. And some lighter rainfall has been coming down closer to South Point and just south of Kailua Kona and Captain Cook. Some more moisture is going to be moving in from the south as we're going into this evening. As we move further westward, Molokai and Lanai have been seeing some lighter showers moving in from the south. Again, the messaging in our forecast over the last couple of days, if you've seen my videos, I've repeated it several times. The moisture is mostly going to be focused over windward areas, and you can see that really just exemplified in the Oahu radar loop out there. We've got most of the moisture focused over the Mauka areas of the island, the Ko'olau mountain range, and a little bit drier over the leeward and central portions of the island. As you go further west on Oahu, that's where you're seeing the strongest winds. We were seeing some power outages in Waianae and Makakilo earlier today. Kauai's been seeing some lighter rainfall over the last couple of hours, but still the flood watch is up for the entirety of the state. Yesterday I said that the highest chance for rainfall was windward Oahu down to windward Hawaii Island, and that seems to have been the case. Not as much rainfall over on Kauai, maybe some heavier showers moving down over the Mauka areas of Kauai. Here's what we're tracking. Again, high wind warning today and tomorrow, the flood watch today and tomorrow as well, plus a winter storm warning up for the summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. Here's our high wind warning. This is up directly from the National Weather Service. The only areas that are not under a high wind warning are the summits of Haleakala, Mauna Loa, and Mauna Kea, the leeward side of Hawaii Island, and parts of Puna and Hilo out there. Some gusts getting closer to 60 miles per hour, while sustained winds closer to 20 to 35, and some localized gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Again, those gusts in those 60 to 70 mile per hour range, that's tropical storm strength winds out there. So very strong winds coming down, and of course the high wind warning continues until Monday afternoon, alongside a flood watch. Like I showed you, the heavier showers that we're seeing on the radar coming down along the Hamakua coast and the northern portions of Hawaii Island. And also, the flood watch continues until Monday afternoon. You'll also notice the flood watch is not up for the summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. Flash flooding is caused, again, could be caused by the excessive rainfall. That language comes directly from the National Weather Service. The summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea are under a winter storm warning, and all offshore and coastal waters are also under a gale warning until 6 p.m. on Monday. So very choppy conditions out there. If you're a mariner, please take warning out on the water. Our winter storm warning, again, we do have this up for the summits of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, 6 a.m. Sunday to 6 p.m. Monday. Heavy snow, totals between 10 to 16 inches, and south winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour. Again, the higher you go up in the atmosphere, you see the wind shift to be a little bit further southerly. And again, here's a quick look up at the Ukurt Observatory over on Hawaii Island. Whiteout conditions up there and lots of snow. Always very cool to take a look at. All right, let's break down the overall weather pattern. I want to show you our impacts timeline one more time. Going into Sunday evening and Monday, we are expecting winds to weaken slightly going into Sunday evening, but rebuilding in strength going into Monday afternoon. The biggest impacts, again, expected over on Maui County. Flash flooding, mainly over windward areas like we're seeing on the radar, like we've been messaging, and also damaging wind out there. Then the concerns start to come down as we're going into Tuesday, but some lingering moisture over windward areas out there, but the winds aren't going to be as dangerous or as damaging. Our winds outside right now, you can very clearly see these are sustained winds, that 2-minute average from the National Weather Service. 30 miles per hour out of the northeast or the east-northeast over in Lihue on Kauai, 21 miles per hour in Kahului, 20 miles per hour out of the northeast in town, 30 miles per hour in Lanai City, and 9 miles per hour out of the north over in Kailua Kona. Some lighter winds over in Kona Town and over in Hilo. Over the last 24 hours, again, we have seen some pretty strong maximum wind gusts. You can see out there, I'm just going to read out some of these. Over on Lanai City, or in Lanai City, 66 miles per hour. Nearly reaching that 70 mile per hour mark. And again, we don't have readings across the entirety of the state. Nearly 40 miles per hour in Honolulu, 60 miles per hour in Kaunakakai, or 1 mile per hour short of that 60 mile per hour mark, and 26 miles per hour over in Hilo, 40 in Kailua Kona. So it's been very windy, and these winds are going to continue as we're going into tonight and Monday. Let's just take a look as we're going into late tonight. Still getting slightly weaker in the overnight. Monday around 2 a.m., still between 20 to 25 miles per hour out there, and then going closer into this afternoon on Monday. This is around 3 p.m. Back up to that 20 to 25 mile per hour range. Some wind gusts getting closer to that 30 to 40 mile per hour mark, and especially if you're just downwind of the mountains, as the air just rushes down the mountains, of course the winds are going to be picking up in strength. The winds get a little bit weaker going into Tuesday and Wednesday. We will see the high wind warning drop. May see a wind advisory stick around, but the winds are going to be getting weaker going into Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, breaking down what we're seeing in terms of rainfall. Again, I've been talking about this system that's been off to the southwest of us. This cutoff low, this high upper level cutoff low, mid-level cutoff low is going to spin off to the southwest, and you're really going to be able to see that. You can kind of see the spin happening in the models. Windward rainfall continues going into Monday. Seems like less rainfall expected on Monday and going into late Monday into Tuesday. Lingering moisture Tuesday evening, and then conditions improving, much drier going into Wednesday and Thursday. You can take a look outside in our local view. Specifically, this is the European weather model, which is doing a really good job picking up on the heaviest rainfall being over the windward sides of Maui and Hawaii Island. Some heavier showers possible over the Mauka parts of Oahu. Not as much over on Kauai this evening. And as we're going forward, you're going to see some heavier showers like we're seeing develop over closer to Puna early tomorrow morning. Hopefully bringing some rainfall to those communities that really need it after the episode 41 ashfall incident that happened, leaving a lot of tephra and volcanic dust out there. And just taking a look going into Monday afternoon, Monday evening, not as much rainfall out there, starting to clear up. Lingering moisture over windward areas going into Tuesday. Conditions start to improve going into Wednesday, but still could be seeing some showers, getting heavier at times, but overall not as much of a threat as what we're seeing out there right now. Our GFS, this is the American model. I just showed you the European weather model local view. Again, very similar out there. It's kind of picking up on the heaviest showers being over the eastern half of the state, heaviest showers being over northern Maui, windward Maui. Some heavier downpours could develop over the eastern parts of Hawaii Island later tonight, going into Monday afternoon. Again, not as much moisture going into Monday and Tuesday. Lingering moisture for windward areas Tuesday afternoon, then drying up, more sunshine going into Wednesday, but still pretty breezy out there. Again, all of this has been happening because of this strong high pressure system at the surface just to the north of us. After that front moved over us, I also want to point out something pretty interesting here. After the front moved over us, we had this high pressure system just rapidly build in strength. Air rotates around high pressure like this clockwise, and so you're seeing very strong pressure gradients here. See these lines? These are called isobars. It's a line of constant pressure at the surface. The closer they are together, the stronger the wind is going to be. And you can see they're very tight isobar pressure gradient, and northeasterly is going to get more easterly going into Sunday. Like I said, I do want to point out something pretty interesting going off to the southwest of us. In the tropics, when we're looking for lower pressure, At the surface, we are kind of looking for this upside down shape, and you can kind of see a surface trough developing out there with the system that's off to the southwest. Again, the heaviest rainfall falling off well off to our southwest. This continues to move far away from us. High pressure sticks around Monday and strengthens a little bit going into the afternoon. Those strong winds are going to be hanging around. We also, like I mentioned, we're looking for that kind of upside down cup shape. It's opposite in the tropics compared to what we see at the mid levels, where we're really seeing the upside down trough look. We take a look at the jet stream a lot. You see the upside down, kind of the U shape out there, but you can see in the tropics a little bit different. It's opposite. As we're going into Tuesday and Wednesday, again, the high pressure is going to be weakening, but still hanging around further off to our north. Still tight pressure gradient out there. It's going to be windy all the way into the back half of this week. Could even get windier going into Saturday and Sunday. Moving a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, we've still got this cutoff low off to the south and west of us that continues to spin away. Then we're seeing higher pressure or higher heights building in Tuesday and Wednesday over us and toward the north of us. So we could be seeing drier conditions out there. Maybe a little bit of a deepening of a trough as we're going into Thursday and Friday. But again, that's still pretty far out in the weather models. Could bring some more rainfall closer to the end of this week. Our upper level flow, again, I've been talking about how over the past couple of days where we were tracking that upper level divergence going up in the atmosphere, going on in the atmosphere, we've got this trough that's deepening. You're starting to see the beginning of the cutoff low at the upper levels out there. Just downstream of troughs like this, we are typically looking for this area right here, which is where upper level divergence is going on. So air is diverging quickly from this point and moving away pretty fast. So air from the mid levels and the surface is rushing upwards, providing that dynamic lift we need for heavy rainfall and thunderstorm development. And you can see that's kind of just downstream of the trough axis being right here. Then we see the cutoff low moving off to the west and southwest of us, not impacting us as much going into Tuesday and Wednesday. Also seeing some ridging developing over us Wednesday into Thursday. Maybe some deepening of a trough just off to the northwest of us. Maybe some more wet weather expected going into Thursday and Friday. All right, a quick look at our totals out there. I want to show you our rainfall accumulation map as we're going forward, because again, windward areas still could see some rainfall out there. Some heavier showers possible over windward Maui, closer to Paia, over closer to Hana, the Hamakua coast possible. Kaneohe seeing 2 inches of rainfall from now until Tuesday at 6 p.m. Honolulu could be seeing some heavier showers out there. And also Hilo getting closer to 2 inches of rainfall. Our first alert Vog forecast, you can see what's going on as well. We've got Vog that's kind of hanging around the state, but with the winds, it's going to be blown out very quickly and moving off to the west and southwest. You might be able to feel it if you're especially sensitive to it, but with the winds and also the rain in the atmosphere should be helping clear out the sulfate aerosols and also the sulfur dioxide out of the atmosphere. But you'll be able to feel it, especially if you're really sensitive to it. All right, our temperature Futurecast. Obviously, it's been very cold out there. Going into Monday morning, getting into the low 70s for lows. Some areas at higher elevations getting into the 60s. Monday, around 4 p.m., we are going to be seeing highs in the mid-70s. That's cold for highs out there. And then Monday evening, getting back into the low 70s. With more moisture in the atmosphere, it's harder for the lows to drop much lower. And Tuesday around 6 p.m. around 75 degrees in Honolulu. Our first alert surf forecast, let's just break it down because again we did have a high surf advisory up, but that is on the decline. No longer seeing any surf alerts out there. North facing shores around 5 to 7, west facing shores around 2 to 4. Small in town, east facing shores for your Monday morning, again seeing a large wind swell around 10 to 15 feet out there. But as we're going forward, besides the east-facing shores, we're really not going to be seeing much energy till maybe the end of this upcoming week where we start to see maybe some more active weather out there, but not a lot to discuss this week in the surf forecast. Our box jellyfish probability, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, some Oahu south and west-facing shores could be seeing them. Thursday and Friday, they're starting to move away. With the easterly and northeasterly winds, they're likely getting pushed offshore there, so they still may be out there. Just be careful if you're getting into the water. And here's our island-by-island forecast for your Monday. Over on Kauai, we've got showers, thunderstorms possible, very windy conditions. Again, tomorrow we're still seeing the impacts. Less rainfall as we're going into the evening. Thunderstorms are possible over Oahu. Seems to be more of a rainfall event and wind event rather than a thunderstorm event. Northeasterlies between 25 to 30 miles per hour, gusting closer to 55, 79 in Kahului, and then moving over to Hawaii Island, 82 in Kailua Kona. Some scattered showers out there. More sunshine along the Kona side of the Big Island, and showers and thunderstorms and heavy rain possible over the eastern side of Hawaii Island. We're starting to see more downpours developing over closer to Puna and Volcano. The northern portions of Hawaii Island, very windy, possibly a thunderstorm out there. All right, our first alert radar and satellite, again, you're seeing most of the rainfall over windward Maui, windward Oahu, and windward Hawaii Island. Kind of like what we forecasted yesterday. If you go back to the video yesterday, I gave you the range where the heaviest rainfall was expected, and that's exactly what we're seeing out there right now. So again, thank you for everybody who's been tuning in to these forecasts. Thank you for all the new viewers who have tuned in as well. It means a lot that you trust me for your weather information. Again, the purpose of this is to be as transparent as possible and to highlight areas that are not seeing consistent weather forecast compared to some of the other forecasts out there. I know neighbor islands are not getting as much information as maybe Oahu does. Maybe some forecasts are Oahu centric, and I want to just make sure that you get to see as much as we get to see, and also really get to see the data that we're putting out there. And I thank you for watching and trusting me for your forecast. All right, make sure to like and subscribe, smash the notification bell. Let me know where you're watching from below, and please stay safe out there. Again, there's been power outages and the damage reported, so down trees. Just be careful. Use good judgment, and then I will see you tomorrow, weather permitting. This has been Meteorologist Drew Davis.